Okay, so we will start as usual with a short recap from the class last week, and we learned about the force they call opponent, right? It's that force that challenging us every day, that limiting us, that make us smaller, right? Make us believe we can't. I don't have the ability. I don't have enough resource. It's not possible. I can't change. Right? Things like that. That this voice that keep us smaller than what we can be. Many times this voice destroying things, destroying processing, sabotaging relationships, sabotaging things we want to manifest. And basically we said that the first tool to go is to observe, to start to hear that voice, to start to recognize that voice. So when we say right, pause, what an opportunity, it's basically pause, wait, what is the voice of the opponent, my personal opponent, that we also, very important to remember that voice, it's not who we are really, right? It's not us, it's not the real me. So it start to, identify it and say, this is my opponent, are you walking with me? He's there for me to challenge me, but it's not who I am really. And by recognizing the voice, we also want to start to recognize the voice of the soul, right? And this was your homework, and soon all of you are going to share, like we'll jump wanting to share. So the moment we start to recognize the voice of the opponent, we want to ask also, wait a second, what is the voice of my soul telling me? And this, very important concept saying that, in order to bring light to life, right? We want, right? We say in the beginning, the class number 1, we all want more love and more health and more joy and more happiness and more success, right? We want to connect to that. So in order to bring all that, in order to reveal light, the only way is through the darkness. It's only, going through those challenges that the opponent give us as a gift, as opportunities, so we can switch, we can switch the channel, right? To switch the channel from the channel of the darkness, the channel of the ego, the channel of the opponent, to the channel of the light. So it's very important, it's very exciting to recognize this is, the key point of transformation. So today we have a class that will teach us what the Kabbalist revealed to us, explore to us, of how we fastening the process, how we're making it. Yeah, we all need to go through a process, and soon David will explain us more about it, but it can be a process, all lifetime, and it can be a process of 1 month, 1 day. So how we do it, how it's gonna happen, David? Yeah, sorry. I just said you're all gonna jump. So you've been saved almost. Who would like to share with us? A moment you can recognize the voice of your opponent, if you were able to pause or not, and if you could recognize this as well the voice of your soul. Yes, Jason, please.
Okay, I was thinking about it. So my daughter got married this weekend.
The first one.
Yeah, the first one. And it was one interesting thing was that I saw a lot of relatives and friends that I hadn't seen for 5 years or so before COVID, most of them.
Wow.
And many of them aged quite a bit. So it was a little shocking to see people who aren't that much older than me, and after 5 years, they look a lot older. And so then when I came home and I'm trying to start my second career, so I'm sort of starting from scratch, trying to do a lot of things. I had a lot of feelings of, this is ridiculous. I'm too old. Look how quickly people are getting old, and it's I'm not going to have enough time. I'm not going to be able to do this. And so I could feel like that was the opponent.
Beautiful. Could you catch it fast, or it stayed with you?
No, I caught it, and I thought about it, and I thought about the lesson here, and I thought how the goal is to overcome it, and to sort of say that yes, that's that sort of self-doubt, negative thinking, and really.
You could hear the voice of the soul. Like, could you recognize the other voice?
The other voice is, this shouldn't be a surprise. You know, this is coming, and have to work, and that's exactly the point. Have to overcome this. Have to be brave and strong and go through it anyways.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Richard.
I have an example too. Last weekend I went to a friend's property in Skoka for 2 days. It was a blast. It really helped to disconnect from the city and be grounded, lake, nature. Amazing. But a few days prior to that, when my friend sent him group email to all the people who were coming, I noticed that there was, we were like 6 of us. There's supposed to be 6 of us. There was one guy with whom I had a really kind of a tumultuous past a few years ago. I mean, we started something like he wanted me to get involved in his business, and it didn't go well, and it kind of turned nasty. And his name was also there. I was like, I don't want to see him again. I mean, we already cleared, we talked everything prior, and then we parted ways. I don't want to see him again ever. So I was like, okay, I don't want to go. And screw it. I don't want to be in his presence for like 48 hours. Stuck in a place where the access is only through water. I can't even run away.
Swimming.
So and then I realized, and then so that was the need to run away and just shut off without hoping something good can come. That voice was there, and then there was another voice of reason, like, all right, people change. And then just maybe give him a heads up. And then I wrote him a personal email saying, hey, I saw that you were also going to be there. I know we had these things happen, but I want us to have a good time, and I hope everything is good with you. And I wrote a very pleasant email to him, and he didn't even acknowledge it or reply to it. But when I was there, he mentioned it in front of everyone. That it was helpful to him because he was also going through doubts.
Wow.
That my email could make him also feel comfortable and to come to show up, and we had a good weekend actually. Of course, we had healthy boundaries. We didn't buddy up with him, but there were other five other people there, so we all had a good time.
Beautiful.
So, yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you. Anyone else would like to share? But you all went through, right? You all could recognize, even if you're not sharing.
For me, it was extremely challenging.
Good.
This week decided to give me a lot of challenges, but I was trying to. What I found, what's new for me, I'm getting mad very quick when it's something happening what I don't want to. This time I was trying to keep the problem a little bit aside for a while, to calm down and then to see how to solve it. And I had a couple of situations when I practiced that, and it was pretty amazing. And also we had conversation with David after class and with you. So I started to practice some stuff we were talking about.
Beautiful.
It's really productive.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Continue. Don't stop. Okay. Yes. Oh yeah, I wanna.
Well, I had a pretty stressful couple of weeks, and I've been kind of reverting into an old version in terms of feeling a little anxious and insecure because I started a new job and it's proving to be more difficult than I initially anticipated, and the adjustment period is taking a moment, and I usually get things like that, and being challenged and not getting things like that was a little distressing. And then after a few days of this kind of anxious state of being, I kind of remembered that I'm just, that I'm more confident than that, and I should just accept that I'm human and that it's a learning curve, and I was sort of able to fight that anxiety down by just determining what's irrational and what's real and what's just, me catastrophizing. So I think that's pretty much.
Did you recognize, literally saying, okay, it's you, opponent.
Yeah.
I see you, I recognize you. Your voice is clear.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
Yeah, it's these are intrusive thoughts from the opponent or something. This is not me. This is just something that's making me doubt me.
Yeah. Beautiful.
My example, I got into practice the pause and seek an opportunity, and then also to listen to the inner soul, like you said. But it was more for my son Peter. On this past Friday, Peter has been 4 days in a football league, And I haven't been happy with it. I haven't been happy with what's happening. And I'm pausing. And then this Friday, my son and 20 boys were on the sideline for an hour and doing nothing. And I was getting very, very concerned. And I was pausing and thinking and not reacting. And then a half an hour later, which is an hour and a half, I just go onto the field. Coaches are yelling at me. I'm calm. He said, you can't be on the field. I said, I'm taking my son home. Why? Because he's not enjoying himself. And so we went across and he started yelling at me. I said, I'm not pleased. There's children here. I'm not going to talk about it. I'll call you on the phone. And my son thanked me a lot because he had the opponent, right? And I was there. My inner voice went there to say, you need to save your son. And then when I called and spoke to someone, I said, I think the coaches are trying to do their best, but you can't have a coach call a kid stupid. And I didn't say that in front of my child, but Peter told me. Because coaches, like teachers, like rabbis, were there to inspire and encourage the kids, not to shame them. So I'm still pausing to see if I need to do some other things and complain to the city of Vaughan or let it be. But the one thing that he said over and over again, it's the football culture, which there's no culture that shames children.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I still have more to do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Thank
Thank you. Thank
So
you.
the opponent sometimes is not for you, but for your loved ones. You might have to also get involved in.
Yeah, I think also in this situation you can be very reactive.
Yeah, you could have.
Like someone yelling at you.
Bunch of football friends.
Yes, especially when you are a protective parent. It's like,
Yeah.
Don't come closer. Yes. Okay, thank you so much. I'm sure everyone that shared inspired others. You inspired me, definitely. And are you ready for the topic of today? I don't hear you. Are you ready for the, thank you. David Zakin.
I missed you guys. 1 week. Incredible. You didn't come last week. You also. Yeah. Some of you. Okay. Too much information. So beautiful to have you all. Greg, I love your example. I think you got out of your nature in order to do that, wasn't it? You won't typically do something like that.
I took longer to react, either one way or the other. So there was a longer pause session, yes.
So I think it was like you did something which is to protect your son from some kind of abuse, and you had to go out of your nature in order to do that. So, and that's the reason your son thanked you, I think, because he felt, you felt him, and he felt like, that you did something good for him. So absolutely beautiful. So about the subject of today. So today we're going to learn about the secret to speeding up processes in our life. What does it mean, processes? We all going through different processes, different relationship processes, different career processes, different delays that are happening in different projects in our lives. Things that we losing patience for, either our own transformation, our own breakthroughs, our own revelations that we're looking for, and our people that close to us. We have always expectations in our relationship that people will go faster and change themselves. Do you agree? Raise your hand. Do you tell your children, do you tell your wives and husbands, you need to change? Do you tell yourself you need to change? No. But we're going to go and work on it. So, of course, everything is about change. But change take processes. Everything that we're going in life require a process. Now, the question is, what type of processes are we looking for? Yeah? So definitely in our desire to receive for oneself alone, it means from our selfish point of view, we would love to bypass any processes in our life. Yeah? If I take a check right now and tell you, listen, $1 million for you, a gift, Nobody's going to say to me, listen, David, what are you talking about? Let me earn it. Let me go through the process. Everyone's going to grab it and say, wow, God loves me. I know. I deserve it. Yeah? So there is a deep conflict inside of ourselves. On one end, we want to shorten processes. We would like what we call the quick fix to anything that happens in our life. This is the reason how all the, the junk food was invented. The instant, everything is instant. Instant coffee, instant food, instant reels on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, whatever you. Everything is instant these days, yeah? And remember, our kids are born into this reality of instant, and it's scary because they can get bored very easily. We also getting bored from different processes that we have already in our life. So what happens to us when we get bored? What happens to us when we lose our patience? What do you think? What's happening really in our lives when we don't really get what we want long term right now? It doesn't work. We will look for alternatives. Yeah, we look for different alternatives and different paths for alternatives so someone can lose it and be very angry in his life. Someone would go towards substance in order to feel some kind of high. Someone gonna go towards extreme sports and risk his life just in order to get some adrenaline and some kind of dopamine, yeah? So the question is, so we understand that everything needs to be earned in our lives. Everything needs to go through the process. The process allows us really to earn every bit of gifts that exist in this world. That's the point. We requested it according to the laws of creation. We requested that things not going to be as a free gift in our life. So, but there is a problem. The moment we are connected to what we call the quick fix mentality, the side effect of it is that we actually extending the processes. So processes actually meant to give us some kind of a feeling to find our superpowers inside of us. Because things are not working, I'll find another way. The door is closed, I'm trying the windows. The windows are closed, I'm coming from the skylight. There is no skylight, I'm passing through walls, like Einstein said, yeah? I'm finding a way. But if I'm trying to bypass the process, how can I find really my strength? That's the question. So, yes. So this beautiful example came from our founder of the center originally, the Rav Ashlag. He was the visionary about how to open Kabbalah to the world. And he started initially the center 100 years ago. Yeah. So what he said many, many years back, he gave the example. Imagine yourself like you creatures that coming out of space, okay? And you see two scenarios in front of you. One scenario, you see a baby calf is born to the world. And on the other picture, you see a baby boy born into the world. Both of them behave for the next month in completely different ways. So the baby calf is actually the one that's going to come out of the womb, going to start like, how do you say? Shaking himself. And after a couple of minutes, we'll start running. And enjoying life. Seems very developed creature. Immediately go to his mom, finding a way to eat from her, easily becoming so independent. You look at that, say, wow, this is very interesting. You're coming out of space. Say, wow, this creature looked to me very intelligent, isn't it? Same token, you're looking at the baby boy. This baby boy comes to the world, crying out loud, doesn't know what to do with himself, hopeless, miserable for the next 30 years. Asking for mommy to make him food, And you think, wait a second, which creature is more developed? Yeah? So we know already the end result. So the spoiled baby, eventually, with good education, can become the president of the US. The baby calf, the maximum that he can come to is, just running around and eating some grass. So what I'm trying to say by this example, that processes exist, but we cannot really judge the way it seems to be to begin with in our first experience with the process. So we all go through many painful things, but can we really judge them according to a short experience, even long-term experience? Can we judge them according to that and determine everything and come to a conclusion about them? So of course, if we were to jump into conclusion about that, we're probably going to assign this calf as the next president, and we know that nothing going to happen in the world, isn't it? So this is the exact point. Another fact, a biological fact, is that when you go to the farm or to the field and you see two orange trees, okay? And just after a while you pick an orange before it's ripe, okay? And you tasted them and you see that one is much bitter than the other. So what will be the logical conclusion? That this tree that has a very, very bitter fruit most likely is not good, and the other tree is actually something that I should invest in, and this is like the right crop that I want to bring. But in reality, the agricultural specialist is saying that as much as the fruit is bitter in its first phases before it's ripe, that's how sweet it's going to become in the ending process. Okay? So we look at ourselves and we compare ourselves to others and see that other people usually have better processes than us. That's the way we view it. The grass of the neighbor is always greener, the car is more beautiful, the house is greater, the children are more successful, he has more money, and blah, 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 blah. That's how we look at the world with our narrow mind, our eyes that are surrendered to the dimensions in space, yeah? Five senses. So the moment we are judging all the reality in that way, we could miss the point. That if I'm going through terrible process right now in my life, when there are delays, when things are not really going well, when there are failures, when there are ups and downs, when there are no true revelation, no true breakthroughs. So what I'm thinking to myself, immediately my opponent kicks in and he tells me, you see, it's never going to work. You see, you're not worthy. All what we call the limited beliefs are starting to build according to bad experiences or delays in processes. That's where doubt creeps in, isn't it? Do you agree? When things are not really going to the pace I would like them to go, that's where time is in control. The three-dimensional space, time, and motion, they're giving me the data that something is wrong with me. So in reality, according to the Kabbalists, each and every one of us, the processes and the challenges that we are getting in life are designed specially for us, knowing the cosmic computer know exactly that I can handle them. And because I lose trust in the midst of the process, no matter what it is, and we know that some difficult process there. I meet with students, with people all the time, and I hear stories that I say, oh my God, I need to be so appreciative of my own process. I had my own difficulties and processes, and I'm still going through processes in my life. I say, thank God, people get tested in such difficult ways, in sicknesses, in loss, in, abuse. I just talked to one lady today. She was the mother of a student here. And, very, very educated family, wealthy, and she lost her daughter. And 6 months later, she lost her son. And now I called her and she told me I lost my mother too. So what a taste. What a taste of bitterness a person can have from such an experiences, isn't it? Do we agree? But the way it is that, we can say, okay, life sucks, it doesn't work. But will it serve us long term? No. The idea is that the long term of gift in my life, of breakthrough in my life, if I want it to be this way, instead of just trying to compensate every time I don't get what I want, it's much more important. And no matter what happens, to what degree, if I have the strength to just embrace it and say, yeah, right now I don't understand. I feel a pain, a tremendous pain in my life of loss, of delays, of dealing with insecurities because I'm not fitting my own expectations. I'm not where I want to be. But if I'm embracing it and I'm taking it in and I'm feeling it as a pain, it might be that I will get even stronger sense of ability to overcome those processes and maybe even to shorten them. So processes are coming from the place of tikkun, yeah? We know, earning or not really getting what I want, it means that I have to go through some kind of a transformation. Internal, external, effort, more desire, more excitement, more passion, more all those positive things that are missing right now in the way I handle life. That's the point, yeah? Being more proactive, being more positive, that's what tikkun calls upon me. And usually, when there are delays and they put me down and I don't like what's happening, usually I'm going to be dimmed and I'm going to be turned off from doing the maximum. And I will find different getaways, as we said, yeah? So the getaways are really to give me an immediate fix. But let's try to share right now. And just choose a partner, one person, so we can make it a quicker workshop. And share about a past experience that was very painful for you at that time, but now you know the lesson or the blessing it brought to your life. It means the bitter fruit eventually became sweet. So pick up a partner and let's share it quick. 2 minutes per person, 3 minutes per person. Okay, who wants to share an example with us? Something interesting, very powerful example. Philip.
It's funny, I was sitting here and I was thinking to myself, wow, I don't want to learn nothing. But I remember I went through this experience with an employer back in 2002 where I considered us very close. I would have thought him to be my best man if I got married. Like, we were friends. He owned the company. I was whatever. And went through this process, and we had an ideological dispute, and then it turned into an ethical one, and then it just became a giant blowout. And I felt betrayed. I was raging openly. People knew I was mad, and it ended with me just walking away. And it got kind of bitter from there. He owed me a bunch of money, and he made it very difficult, and I didn't care. But I started something on my own, same industry. And I found out that there was a lot of people that had respect for what I had accomplished in the 7 or 8 years I was with him, the divisions I had built. And I did that from, I never noticed. When you're doing something, you never really notice because you're just kind of moving from one thing to another and you turn around and go, right? And it was very easy because I stepped into this circumstance and things manifested for me almost as if it was by will. What I needed appeared. And the blessings that brought into my life and the other things that brought into my life and the relationships and what's the word I'm looking for?
Your business also flourish?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
When 2015, I sold it to a group that ended up selling it to Uber. So, we did okay, right? And it allowed me venues into other places, and now everybody thinks I'm so smart. They come and ask my advice, and I just keep standing there thinking, you people don't know anything. That's not true. But I mean, you get lucky, you get good friends, and the secret to success is having a lot of smart people around you. You don't have to be that bright. You just have to be able to put the pieces together.
Beautiful.
And I learned that about myself, and it turned into a real blessing, and I was able to leverage it in different places. And
Nice.
honestly, since I'm sharing it, I feel like for the last 6 years, I've just completely ignored that part of myself, 7. And it was nice just to have that woken up by that memory, but that's my share, and it did do me a lot of good. And boy, was I mad.
Yes.
Boy, was I mad.
Very good example. Thank you so much for sharing. Someone else wants to share something? Bitter turn into sweet. Someone? Yes, please.
What we talked about was I had a very, very difficult childhood, a very traumatic one that involved a lot of changes, a lot of moving, a lot of difficult and abusive people in it. And for most of my life, I used to be very resentful of that fact of, why me, why my life, why doesn't it get easier, and things like that. But over the years, after a lot of self-reflection and learning the lessons of that, I've gotten very thankful for the past that I had, because now I understand that all of the lessons that I learned in the process allowed me to better understand people, allowed me to better understand myself, and that ability to understand allows me to better connect with people. And in that sense, it has been a major blessing, because if not for all those terrible things, I would not be the person that I am today, and I'm very fond of the person that I am today.
Nice. Very nice. Very nice. I can share with you about myself that I was a very late bloomer in terms of my ability to get married. I always look, I'm a Capricorn. My ability to get married. So, yes, it's not, guys, please don't laugh at me.
I'm not laughing at you. I think that's the best line ever. You're affecting my ability to get married.
So, I'm becoming vulnerable and, please.
We'll have you carry on.
It's okay, I'm still not there yet, so.
Okay, you haven't got to the. So, it wasn't that I wasn't dating, but almost got married once before becoming spiritual, and then I felt that we're growing apart. I'm becoming having more interest in the soul and spirituality. My fiance then she was pretty much into the materialistic world, and we canceled the marriage, and it got me through very, very difficult 2 years, because we've been together since we were teenagers. We've been together for 13 years. And but this very, very devastating breakup, even though I initiated, got me into a process of really, really looking within and having a very difficult process. But that's led me eventually into the spirituality, deeply into the spirituality, and that's how I found the center later on. But even during the center time, for 10 years, I know that my desire is to find the right one and to find a spiritual woman, and it's not happening. So I start asking myself, listen, I'm here devoting my life to society, to people, to all people. I'm traveling the world like crazy. I'm doing so many things, helping so many people. How come I'm not getting my So there were many questions and doubts that arousing because of that. Naturally, do you agree? I mean, on one end you are devoting to selfless life, and on the other end you don't really get what you want. So in the end of the story, after 10 very, kind of difficult years that I wasn't really dating during that time, not really dating too much. And then I met Tamar. And I met Tamar in Israel, and even then when we found each other, even that process was very, very difficult for us to accomplish marriage life, yeah? But it's interesting, but since then we have 4 kids, we're doing what we love to do, we do it together, you see, we teach together. And in order for us to get married, something like that, I had to go all this process of all these years. So imagine yourself, I had so many opportunities just to fall out of the right track. But thanks God, I kept it strong, and I don't know to tell you in my own process how much I delayed it with my doubts. Okay, that's the question. So as much as we're not coping, embracing processes and loving them, feeling the pain of them, but seeing, okay, asking, why is it in my movie? Asking, pause, what a pleasure. Seeing what I can do more. Seeing what the lesson is for me here. Not blaming, not falling into immediate gratification, reliefs that turn me off of my path. Those are the ones that are going to determine if the process will be fast or if the process is going to be a long time. Is that making sense? So if in a relationship, on a business venture that we have, and things are not really working, and even though I'm trying to push myself and, revenue doesn't show up as fast, what do I need to do? What do I need to do according to what we learn? I'm embracing the process. I'm feeling the pain. I'm allowing the pain to awaken even stronger desire for me to find solutions. To understand that there must be another way for me to get what I want. There must be another belief that I should adopt in order to get to where I am. Something needs to be changed in my consciousness. And that's what I need to realize. I cannot drop it, because the moment I'm trying to blame, I'm trying to be a victim, to judge myself, to judge others, definitely it's not contributing to the process. Is that making sense? So the opponent will always attempt to trick us into moving out of the present moment and convince us that we are alone with no light supporting us. So the idea is that the light is always present, is always in the present also, means that there is some kind of a cosmic supernal supervision over us that designed everything, every part, every detail, every delay that exists there. I just need to learn how to tap into that light instead of listening to the opponent that tricks us that this is an end process and things are just going down. Okay? So the idea is not really to judge the now. Okay? Meaning that the moment I'm judging the now, I'm actually determining a beautiful thing that's supposed to happen, that is already taking roots. It doesn't show yet. The tree, the branches, the fruits doesn't show yet, but it's putting roots, very strong roots in the ground. And I want them to continue to grow and grow and grow, trusting. The moment I'm judging, it's like taking one slide of the entire movie and determining all my conclusion according to that, all my decision making according to that. And that's really a waste. Do we have any questions? So now I want you to journal, write down for yourself about the current process that you have in your life right now, okay? That it's painful, it's bitter, it's not been resolved yet, you're still dealing, you are in the midst of it, and you don't see the good quite yet. Raise your hand if you have a process like that. Mark, do you have one like that?
I'm not sure. Okay, that specific type.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Find something. It doesn't need to be super complicated. It could be something, even tiny matter that you're trying to resolve.
A question in the prior slide.
Yeah.
Where it says, don't judge the present, don't
The
judge
now,
the
the
now.
now.
Are we saying like indirectly, don't judge the process? Is that the now that we're talking about? Don't judge.
You know, now you have a current experience.
Right.
So if we know that we are in a process, and a current experience in a process that maybe being long lasting, it's bitter pretty much. It's not for your taste. So why should you judge if you know that the ending game of it is going to be amazing?
Okay.
That's the point. Yes.
Could you go back to the previous slide also, just a second? I wanted to read. Yeah, this one. I'll just take.
Anyone wants to share about a process like that he's going through right now? Yes, please.
So, my name is Leah. Hi, everyone.
Hey, hi Leah.
So, yeah, I used to be a very active person. I was a classical ballet dancer and a teacher, and I never stopped moving, literally. I was always running around like a lunatic. But I had injuries being a dancer starting from the age of 11, and this injury was reoccurring, and I was told that I would not be able to have a career as a dancer because of this injury. And finally, it landed up with me having to have surgery at the age of 21. And then I had to live with it, and it was fine. You know, it was fine, no problem. I was doing whatever I had to do. And then as I got older, not taking care of myself, it got worse and worse and worse, till it landed up that I couldn't walk without a walker. I was in bed on my back for 4 to 6 months, and I thought my life was over. And I couldn't understand, because I always thought of myself as a decent person. I was, trying to improve. Why is this happening to me? Thankfully, things got better, but even now I'm still struggling with it. It's hard for me to go up the stairs, it's hard for me to go down the stairs. And so this is something I'm still really struggling with, because it's so easy, like every morning waking up and it's a different pain in the hip or the back or the leg or the knee. Like, okay. And immediately the doubts come in. Immediately, like, oh, this is never going to get better. Oh, this is going on for so long. I've been doing all my exercises. Why isn't it getting better? I'm going to land up in a wheelchair, and I've got to go, pause. Literally, I've literally got to go, no, I'm not listening to that voice. I'm going to get up. Okay, doesn't matter if it's a bit sore. Start moving. But it's a fight. It's a fight on a daily basis.
So you're still struggling.
And I'm still struggling. And sometimes, some days, I'm just overwhelmed with the fear that this will be the rest of my life. But recently, over the past 6 months or so, I've actually been able to pause long enough to remind myself that it is my choice whether I buy into that voice of fear and doubt and limitation, or I go, no, I'm just not buying it. I don't understand why I have to go through this process yet. Maybe I have a few inklings, but no, I'm not going to buy it. But it's a struggle. Sometimes, I can just sit funny and there's this twinge and it's like, oh my God, I go, stop, not buying it. But it's an ongoing process and it's a fight. And I have to, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a student at the center already, but without a doubt, if it wasn't for the tools that I've learned here and the teacher, David's actually the one who got me out of bed. He doesn't remember, but he started calling, and it just gave me something to get up, and yeah, so ongoing battle, but thank goodness for the tools, and I'm learning to accept the process, not yet love it.
Yeah.
And I want it to speed up. So
Yeah.
thank you for
So another parameter that is very essential and important when we want to speed up processes is to understand that the mind that created the problem is not the mind that can take you out of the problem. So if we take responsibility in our lives and we understand, okay, I put myself in this situation, I'm actually taking full responsibility. I mean, it's easy, it could be that other people did things to me, but I'm taking responsibility because I know why it's in my movie. Yeah? We accept that. But not always we're going to be able to come up with the right answer. That's the reason we have to involve a third party. A third party, it means like someone that is neutral, is not involved in the problem, and I can ask for help. Because asking for help from the light, yes, asking for help from the light is already activating answer and sending the right people the right answers. But it's not that it's going to download to you as some kind of a revelation, and you will see God and will tell you do this and do that. That's not how the light works. The light has its own messaging way, messengers. So I need to choose messengers in my life proactively in order for me really to get a second opinion, to be open enough really, understanding that it's not the person that's giving me the answers, the light force of the Creator, because I'm in a way breaking my ego a bit and saying, okay, I don't know the answer. I would love to know the answer. I've been trying so hard, but I want to get help. Is that making sense? You will see that it's one of the most difficult things in the world to do. It's not easy for us to seek for help, to ask the right questions. And if we be able to adapt that, says like one of the most powerful relationships that we have is with the people that are actually we using as our mentors. And it's tremendous, the supporting system that the light provides us through the different people around us. So now Tamar going to use another tool that can help us really to shorten processes, and this is what we call the meditation tool. Okay, so through visualizing, through looking within, through opening myself to answers that are behind my five senses, I have in a way really to get out of the logical mind and allow messages to come also this way. Okay, so beautiful, thank you.
In the meantime, you can sit comfortably. It's good to put both legs on the floor, remove everything.
Could we switch off the light?
Yes, we can switch off the light. אתה רוצה לכבות אותו? אוקיי. אולי גם את הפרוג'קטור. Okay, so after sitting comfortably, you can raise your eyes a bit above and close them. And we're starting with a few deep breathing. You can feel the air coming to your body, entering to all the organs. can visualize yourself breathing a bright light into the cells of the body. And when you exhale, you also exhale light, sharing with the world some love. Breathe in and breathe out. Relaxing all the muscles of your body from the head through your face, the eyes, the nose, the lips, going down to the neck, to the shoulders and hands. Everything is more relaxed, everything feels more heavy. Taking deep breath through your chest. And releasing. Another deep breath to your stomach. Releasing all the emotions that's sitting there, all the stress. Relaxing the muscles of the legs until the floor. I want you to put your attention now to your heart. And while you continue breathing, bringing bright light into it, see how it's filled with love, with joy, with excitement. With every breath, you're feeling it with more power, strength. You become stronger and bigger and open to learn the lessons, have all the strength to face what need to face with. Open to make the change. And now, in your way, thinking about the challenge you chose before. Observe it. If it's to see the person that's challenging you, if to see the situation, what kind of emotions it's awakening in you. If it's fear, anger, jealousy, resentment. If it's closing you, what thought it's bringing. I'm not good enough, I'm not capable. It's not for me. It's the other person. To stay in that moment, just to observe, not to run away, not to try to find solution, not justify nothing, just to observe what is awakening me, what is the voice of the opponent, what is the voice of my soul. And in that moment, to ask for help. To accept that in that specific moment, I'm limited in seeing the answers, finding the solution. Yeah, I know it's a process. I know it's leading to a sweet ending. But in that moment, I don't see it. And I want help. I need assistance. I need support. You can take another deep breath. And allow yourself, to get a message, to see something different, to look at things differently. Ask for the help you need. If it's clarity, if it's more power, if it's the strength to face it, to deal with it. Now I will count from 5 to 1, and in 1 we will come back to the here and now. 5, 4, 3, 2. You can shake your body a bit. 1. You can open your eyes. Always after meditation, it takes time. So just to summarize what we learned today, the spiritual rule and the spiritual tool. So I lost I lost the voice. I think battery. Okay, so the lasting fulfillment requires a process, and the tool, breathe, embrace the process. So the meditation we did now, it's something that is very good to take every day. And we hear more and more who is listening to different coaching, different ways that popping up more and more. We hear, it's working? Yeah? No? Okay, so we're hearing more approval, like scientific approval, that consciousness is what creating. And many years already speaking about it, but even just taking every day to visual, to think differently, it's already even changing the cells in the body, is already changing the feeling. Many speak about recovery and health by right meditations and changing the body, changing illness through consciousness. So I think just to do that meditation, like every day, to take that moment to think about the challenge, hopefully very fast. The process will be so fast you will need to change every day the challenge you're choosing to do the meditation. But even if it will be the same challenge, not to run away, not to resist it, and really to be present. Yeah? Okay. So this is your homework, but I would like also for you to stay in your groups and discuss what you saw in the meditation now. If you start to get some answers. And we have extra credit, we call it, but I think it's amazing exercise, really, to choose one person that you count, that he will tell you the truth, not like someone that's afraid from your response, and really ask them what is the one thing that they think that you should change, that you should work on. And keep silent. Don't react to it. Okay, it can be on the phone, it can be face on face. Many times it's easier on the phone, but it's highly recommend. We used to do that challenge. No, it's different challenge in the class. This one too? Kabbalah. In Kabbalah too. Oh, there is what to look for. Okay, is it clear? Any questions? Questions to David? Questions to the universe? Okay, so please stay with your mentors and share. Yes, we want to let you know this coming Sunday is the new moon of Gemini. Yeah, going out of the heaviness of Taurus, a little bit air, even though it's still going to be a bit heavy, still a lot of influence of Taurus in the chart of the month. Sunday, 6 p.m. If you would like to join us, we're doing workshop, consciousness. We're explaining that the new moon is the first day of the month. It's the beginning. And we have opportunity at that day is to set the consciousness. It's like planting the seed. It's the beginning. So when we set the consciousness, we can experience the whole month after in a different way. Okay? So you can find more information on the website. And here's your exercise. Thank you so much.